So we're walking to the grocery store right now. One of the first things that I always like to look at, and you've probably seen it, and this is a Loblaws, by the way. So good starting point is if you want to shop really effectively, you'll want to go to places like either a Loblaws or a Food Basic, or for regular shopping where you have a list prepared. I always suggest like having a list. You would want to go to maybe a Giant Tiger or something like that, because they actually have really, really good deals on the daily. But, let's say you have a list and you come in. So first thing, I usually do is I look at the coupon board. And these are great little deals that manufacturers send coupons for to throw on. And it's great if you have things that you're going to buy anyways. That's usually what I look at. Whenever there's deals, you should always kind of have it in your mind that was this on the list already, not just buy it for the sake of buying it. But they often have a lot of staples, like you can see peanut butter and jam, cheese, pepperoni, things of that nature. So there's often a lot of stuff there that you're going to buy anyways. And so that's like kind of the couponing side of things, keeping an eye for coupons. There's lots of flyer apps out there that you can use as well, which I find extremely helpful. So when it comes to like fresh produce and things like that, you usually can go over to the product aisles, and more often than not, there's a lot of things that if you're just able to kind of make your dinner on the daily in the evening, there's lots of stuff you can find. So like lots of veggies typically have, you can see like the 50% off tags, but they typically will last at least a couple of days afterward. It's just like, if you're picking things from your garden and put them in the fridge, they would still be good for the most part. And most of the time you're going to be making some sort of stir fry or something with it anyways. Unless it's a true salad, then you probably want to eat it the day of for freshness. A lot of stores like this one have a specific area that has like a lot of 50% off or more areas. So here's some other, typically in most areas, they'll have their own little section. So you can see this is the prepackaged section, but right at the top, they're putting something that is already 50% off. Again, there's nothing wrong with this food. It's food rescuing. They're just trying to clear it from their shelves because their quality commitments are of a certain standard, and so they need to meet that. And a lot of times they'll just indiscriminately put tags to get through their inventory really quickly. So you can see, look at, if you're making something with mushrooms, right? Like these are easily a few more days and there's tons of them. So you're immediately saving 50% off. And not only that, but you're also saving the tax amount that you would pay on that extra 50% as well. So there's kind of a double down of savings. But you can see, here's one of the little areas that I was talking about. It's usually in the back corners of the store, somewhere where they're going to not have a lot of foot traffic, things like that. Bread is the same thing, that you often see a ton of 50% off. So what I actually like to do with bread is, if it's just something like simple, like English muffins, for instance, put those in my freezer and then actually toast them as I'm using them. Because if you put them in a freezer, they'll last like at least a month or two, and then you just toast things as they come. But if you want like fresh bread, like a baguette or something, that also works. They do have things like that. And you can basically just eat those like day of or the next day or two until you actually see some sort of mold or some sort of differentiation in smell. These things are not actually bad, and they usually do last quite a while longer. Typically for most things that are staples, you don't see a lot of sales or deals on that stuff. But there will be a section, and I'm going to walk to it right now, where they will have usually some sort of a stable area that has a bunch of things with tags on it as well. And these are things that they're usually like spices or canned goods or things that were brought in but never really sold. And those are the ones that you can usually buy, and they last a really long time because they're canned. The average canned good actually will last 5 years past when it says that the expiry date is, depending on what's inside of it. That's like a Health Canada regulation that they want to ensure, because a lot of times those labels can get worn and ultimately lead to things that are still good, but you can't tell. Oftentimes a lot of cleaning products too. So this is one of those areas I was talking about. They have a lot of the 50% off stickers. Same with over here. And then the last quick thing to finish off the presentation is usually the meat section has a lot of these as well. And again, meat is very similar to bread, where you can actually freeze it and it's still good for a long time. So you could take a steak that may be 50% off tonight and go and freeze it, and it'll actually be good the next time. So here's some examples right here. So you can see there's a lot of fish here, fresh fish. And again, you could cook this tonight, or you could freeze it and cook it. The last little tip is that whenever you're buying things that may be 50% off, there may be a multi-buy as well. So go to the shelf where that product originates usually, and see if there is like a multi-buy sale on it, because you could buy theoretically like 4 of that thing and still get that multi-buy discount, but then additionally 50% off on top of that, and then the tax savings on top of that. So, you know, kind of combining all these things, you know. And if you don't eat meats, the Beyond Meat section, I don't see any today, but there is often a lot of Beyond Meat that's also, because it's not fully adopted yet, you'll see it being 50% off sale sold. So good to go. Yes, yeah, meat is definitely for sure first. All right, that's it for me. Hope everybody enjoyed.